I honestly feel like I'm faster now than I was when I was in high school.
This is Avery. He's a physician assistant with rotating shifts and dealt with persistent IT band pain that kept him back from progress in his running. He joined Kinetic back in December after dealing with a lot of issues trying to follow plans on his own.
Let me just like look at, random plans online, and I started trying to follow one, and then I was just like finding myself being injured. Knee pain, hip pain, and just like couldn't progress because the pain was just nagging. My hip would hurt when I would wake up the next day. My knee would hurt when I would start running again. I didn't know how to strength train in the right ways, in a way that was conducive for those injuries. I didn't know, should I not be running? Should I be running? Should I run through some of the discomfort? Like there was just no guidance. It didn't allow me like the confidence to keep progressing with that training plan.
We started on December 3rd with a couple tests. We did a 5K time trial and he ran a 22:47. We also did 1 rep max on squat and deadlift. He did 155 on squat and 185 on deadlift.
I was skeptical of, honestly, it just being like another guy on Instagram who like had a following, but maybe didn't necessarily know really what my needs were going to be. Ultimately, not only were the needs met and the programs like structured and personalized, being that I'm a medical like healthcare provider, I wanted something that was kind of evidence-based and was going to work, not just throwing random plans at people with a Mod Podge of ChatGPT and like Instagram trends and things like that, but working with a physical therapist who was going to do a gait analysis and a mobility analysis and help me come up with actual appropriate weights to start at for strength training for my body, personalized. Those were the things that I was looking for that I didn't really realize that I needed.
One of the most crucial parts for Avery was doing a full gait analysis. Starting out, he had a very springy stride, leaned backwards, and had a high vertical displacement. This led to him having a low cadence and a lot of impact with each stride. Now, looking at his stride, he's completely changed it to be leaning forward, higher cadence, and not losing as much energy. After doing the stride analysis, we tailored the strength program to him and also the running program to his performance.
And then after like working with you guys, then it took off from there because things were structured, strength plans that were targeted. There was like constant feedback, course correcting if things weren't going well. But I was skeptical of like how it was going to go if those weren't parts of the plan. And a lot of other coaching that I looked into didn't include those things.
4 weeks into coaching, we redid the 5K test for him and he chopped a whole minute off of his 5K. So he went from a 22:47 to a 21:45 in just a month. After 4 months of training, he ran his first ever half marathon and he ran a 1:41. We also retested his strength, which is arguably the most impressive. On squat, he went from 155 pounds to 205 pounds. On deadlift, he went from 185 to 275 after 4 months of consistent training. The biggest thing overall is that he stayed healthy and was able to be consistent enough to see the results that he'd been hoping for.
Honestly, like just the progress, because it's like palpable. Like you can see easy progress, not only just like on Strava and looking back at your old runs, but like you've been awesome at like taking a moment to like pause and be like, wait, actually this is what this data point looked like at this point in time when we first started. And I felt a lot of that, not only when I completed the half, but then also when we redid like my strength testing afterwards. And so I mean, seeing that progress in terms of like true data, especially like being a healthcare professional, like I like data, I like factual things. That's been my favorite part. And I feel like I'm just a more confident runner for sure. Distances that once felt overwhelming now no longer really are. I look forward to the long runs.
I also asked Avery what he would say to someone who's on the fence about doing coaching, and here's what he said.
I mean, honestly, just like do it. I feel like if you're like motivated enough to like seek out the information and seek out like the idea of coaching, you're obviously like hungry enough for those results, and it just becomes like so much more fun to do when you have like someone cheering you on and like always there for support and like a community built of people like working towards the same thing. I think once all those things were in the picture for me, I was like, yeah, it's an easy choice to continue like working with you guys through the full marathon training, because like I know it's just going to be a fun time.
Avery's now training with us for the New York City Marathon this fall. It's amazing what he's been able to do through consistent effort and having the right structure for him. If you're interested in seeing results like Avery and joining Kinetic, reach out and we'll set up an application call where we would dive into exactly what the right structure would look like for you.